This should be real fun. Hey everybody, my name is John and I like to build 3D printers. I like to build cool things with it, like this Ironman Mark 42 armor. So today I would like to give you an update video, what I've been up to for several months. Some of you are longtime viewers, some of you are brand new to the channel, but this is going to be about my Mark 42 Prodigal Son armor that I've been building for the most part of the quarantine year, so that you can get an idea of what I did right, what I did wrong, what I have to redo, and you guys, if you want to build along with it, or if you got your own projects, maybe you'll take some tips away from it. So there's going to be a lot of information in this video, so I will put timestamps on the side here and down in the comments or the description down below. You could just snap to whatever timestamp you're interested in and move back and forth. Come back for this for reference and see how things go. And in future videos that I will put up, I might reference them during this video and I'll put them in the sidebar or whatever the title bar is up here. They might not be there right now, but in the future, as I make those videos, I will insert those into this video. So this is, you can come back to this video often and reference it for those types of tutorials. So let's get started. So as you can see, I do have a PVC stand that I built myself, and I will go over that in a future video. If you're interested in a tutorial on how to build a better stand than I did, link in the description, upper right corner of this video, I'll insert a future tutorial. But you gotta ask in the comments or I won't really waste my time. But you can see I did it because I wanted to actually have everything out on display at once, so that you can see the entire armor. And it really just motivates me to keep moving and keep working on the project, because before I kind of just had all the pieces in a box sitting off to the side. So let's talk about the helmet. The helmet, most of these files are from DO3D, and I will not end up using any of them because of quality issues I did not like. You can see a video that I discussed this, link in this corner right here. But the helmet is probably the only piece I would keep because it doesn't change that much between one version to the next. I have moved on to a Patreon membership from a guy named Johan, and he makes 3D models and sells them. And this is a mix of the DO3D chest and helmet, but the shoulders and arms are from the other guy. So you can see how much more detail there is. The arms are complete, the head is almost ready for paint. I'm gonna do paint last, but the chest was really flimsy, and the shoulders did not line up to these pieces. The chest clips did not line up. I ended up having to cut those off. Also, I had to scale this to 110% because I am a thick boy, and you can see my chest is very wide. I have 44-inch chest and 55-inch shoulders. So this needs to fit onto me, and that's the whole point. So I had to scale this one up to 110. The Johan one I have to scale up to 116%, but it's going to look so much better. Let's look at this arm right here. So the arm is way better than the files that were included with DO3D. The shoulder prints out clean in one piece, and I'll snatch a piece off. Don't fall over, buddy. And the bottom, that's where I printed it. So just a little bit of Bondo at the bottom, and you should be able to smooth that right out. But there was really no other way to do this. If I did it like that, a lot of support wasted. If I did it like that, even worse with the Bondo and putty. So this was the best orientation in this direction. If you want a video on orientation of prints like this, go ahead and click up here in the upper right if there is one, or ask for one in the comments. This one was 220 grams. I know a lot of people ask about weights, and we'll go over that in a different video. But the bicep was one piece. It has a cuff with a built-in socket. You can see that down here. And I'm going to use magnets. I'm actually using magnets on this one to hinge the joint. It's really cool. The arm, you're going to see more about the arm in future videos. But right now, I just taped it together, and that's one side of it, and I have the pieces for the other side right here. There is the actual forearm piece. There's the bottom side of it. There's the door for the rocket. And here's the rocket mechanism. And that is the hand cover. So I have all the pieces ready to go. And I've been trying to use all of my pieces of plastic so I can just get this out the door. The glove is different than any other glove I've ever seen. It's like it's got the palm, the bottom of the palm, and then the back of the hand and knuckles all in one. So I have a really interesting idea how I want to hinge this, how I want this panel to open and close. So let me show you that mechanism right now. Right now, this is the forearm piece, and it's got a big hole in the bottom, and the door is supposed to be right there. And actually, they meet up like that. And I wanted my hand to go through and catch onto the bridle, basically the bottom end of the glove, and lock the mechanism itself. So I was been brainstorming ways to do that. And I mean, I don't have to have a door. I could just keep it closed, but I want it to self-clamp. So I want to, as you put your hand through, for it to go click and lock in place. So I was thinking, tinkering, and came up with this idea. So if you will, imagine this is the bottom panel. This is the gauntlet. This whole section is the gauntlet. And just for visual representation, these are linkages, and we'll get to this in a minute. But as you pull this piece, as your hand gets pushed through and you grab the bottom of the wrist and it pushes through, it will pull this panel up and lock it into place. And I will 3D print levers I need to do this and rods. But basically, panel's open, lots of space. You put your hand through, it pulls these two linkages and it closes and latches the bottom panel. Now, this piece is just an extra. This is an extra bonus for me. I want to magnetically attach the forearm to the arm cuff. This is the arm cuff. And your hand slides through it like this. And it's very rigid to your elbow joint, very tight, and gives you about 90 degrees worth of turn. I want the forearm to be magnetically attached to this in a way where if I twist my arm, it rotates with it. And you can see in another video I've done, link in this corner right here, where I show this mechanism that I want to do, but I'm gonna use magnets, and I want this piece, I want this piece, as it's open, the panel on the bottom's open, it's hidden. Like down in here or something. And then as it's closed, it comes up with a magnet. It magnetically attaches in a almost concealed way to the cuff. And as I rotate my hand, it floats. There will be a metal strip attached to this cuff. And the magnet itself will hold the entire weight of this. Also, my clamping mechanism and my hand bridle that will hold the forearm on. The intent is that I will be able to lock the wrist, and then if I want to take off the gauntlet, I squeeze, pull back, it releases the bridle, the panel opens up, and it releases the magnet. I can take off the forearm independently. And then the cuff, actually, since it's magnetic to the bicep, that too can come off independently. And then I can just wear the bicep. Because the whole idea of this suit in particular is that it's called prehensile. Every single piece comes to him in individuals. So this one can be worn by itself, this one can be worn by itself, and there's no specific order, anything has to go on. Obviously I don't have nanotech or Tony Stark's lab, but this is the closest I think I can do. I have ideas on how to wear the bicep by itself, how to wear the chest piece by itself, and each piece. And basically involves a lot of magnets, okay? So I think that's a really good video about the pieces I do have done and the mechanism. And I have all the weights and everything written on them so that I can keep track and then maybe possibly sell these as kits for you to build on your own. For the glove, I'm going to use this Craftsman working glove, but I'm going to cut it in on these lines here so that the palm will be glued into it like that. I'll glue the palm into it like that, and so it'll just be basically a fingerless glove. I have yet to figure out how exactly I want to do the fingers, but this is the glove basically. And this will be dangling and attached, and the metal pieces that are going to come off the inside of the gauntlet will be mounted to the wrist bone area inside this. So you literally just have to push your hand through the gauntlet, grab on, and it will automatically clench and lock itself into position. That's my goal. So let's take a look at the chest that I actually have done so far. And I took a break on the chest. I was having some extrusion issues, so I printed out some smaller parts, and you just saw those a second ago. What you see here is the upper chest cut into, it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, but I did have an extrusion issue where it just stopped right here. So I paused it and I resumed with yellow. You can see how I did that in this corner right here, how to resolve 3D printer failures. But basically, the chest is almost done. Just need to do this bottom corner right here. But I had to print it in such small sections because I have a CR-10, it's 300 by 300. So these are actually pretty big sections. This is quite large, quite wide. I did measure this out to be 116% of the original files. So it's a big boy's chest. And you can see how good the detail is compared to the other one, where like everything is just looks so much more screen accurate. The shoulder pieces will match up perfectly to the over the shoulder. Basically, there's supposed to be a weapon under there. So this is much better, 100% better than the way the other one was printed. And I've, learned some lessons from the other one. If you're interested in how I slice this, how I oriented it, and I have some tricks up my sleeve about how to do custom supports, how to do some weird supports things that most people aren't using in Simplify 3D and maybe Cura. So if you're interested in seeing that, leave a comment about asking for the support system. This is the DO3D Premium Mark 42 forearm. And, it was my first journey into actual cosplay 3D printing. And it just looks so cool in their 3D render. But when I actually got it, I realized that the files just are not good enough for cosplay. And this was just not shaped like a forearm. Like, I can't fit my hand in there at all. The pieces look really cool when they're layered and painted, but this is not the shape of the forearm that Tony has. I mean, maybe from one angle or the other. And this is not the shape of the hand that goes over, or the hand guard that goes over the one in the movie. I'll show you a difference right now. This is the DO3D that I went ahead and painted, made it really pretty for the display model. And this is the one that came from Johan 3D on Patreon. And it actually is so much smaller and more accurate. That's more important to me, that it's more accurate to the film. And you can see, like, my hand compared to this, that's what I'm looking for. But this, are you kidding me? That's too big. So that's why I've given up on DO3D. I will not be using them. I still have some credit with them, so I got to buy whatever. But they also stamp everything that they sell with their watermark, and it actually, makes it really annoying to print some things. Look at that. Okay, everybody. Well, this is, I kind of got it mocked up here. I can't really reach everything, but we'll just cut that out. So you can see the arm, and it's not attached the way I want just yet, and I haven't taken the support material off of this yet, but you can see that this is a pretty accurate representation of the arm from Ironman 3. This is not the chest that I will be using, so this is a good helmet though. And the faceplate does pop out, and I want to keep it like that. I want to not motorize it. I have some really interesting ideas on how to motorize the faceplate without any levers. This is just some other palm that I just had done. But the chest, the shoulders, all of this is closed. And I learned a lot of lessons on this part here, right? I learned a lot of lessons. I don't know which side looks cooler, but on how to make this, and you can hear that crunching. This was not printed very well, and I learned some very cool lessons about printing cosplay armor. So let me show you how I get in and out of this. I'm gonna pop that off. In reality, the way I want that, like I talked about, I pull it out and the door would pop open on the bottom and my hand would come off. Boom. And look at that detail. Isn't that some cool detail right inside there? Hopefully we can pick that up, but very good prints. If you want tips about prints, let me know. Set that aside. Bicep. Here's the bicep with the magnetic joint that comes out by itself. I make custom prints for that. Go ahead and take this off. And all my stuff's really durable the way I print it, so I'm not worried about it. This really bad print back, it's a nice snug fit, and I have some ideas on how to close it and just really snug it up. It does fit, and I use Armorsmith. If you want to do any type of cosplay, you need to download Armorsmith. It's in the description. It's worth like $30. And you can build a custom avatar to your shapes, and it will actually help you size your parts. There's other tricks I use, and if you're interested in tricks on how to cosplay size, I'll let you know. The shoulders I printed separately because the way DO3D did it, that back piece went straight through this in the mesh, and it cannot be 3D printed that way. I use a lot of Velcro on the inside of this, just for now, just to mock it up. Now, this is how I put it on and off. I'm gonna go ahead and reach up under here, release the plate, shrug that off, and I'm gonna grab the back right here and pull that right up. Because I'm actually a Marine, and this is how we used to put on our body armor. Now they have the kind that you can pass through the side, your head, and then strap it. So I was thinking, why not just do it the way we do it? Why reinvent the wheel? Wear armor the way we wear armor. So let me show you how I did that. I got a plate carrier with what's called an admin pouch. And then I just put some Velcro on the inside, make sure it was really sticky. And put some duct tape right there just to make it black. And this gives me some free play with it, and I can adjust it. And I punched a hole through this little plate carrier. Got it for $10 at an Army surplus store. Same thing on the back. So you can literally put this on another person if they have the same setup. I really like this, and it's easy to just throw on. And if we had a Velcro shirt, which might be the way, it'd be very nice and snug. And I'm a big boy, got to lose some weight for this costume, but you can see that it's a very snug fit, and measuring it is very important, because otherwise you won't even get your chest in there, your ribs. Come over, take a look at the stand. Okay, so this is just PVC with some no glue yet. I just taped it with duct tape and joints in ways that I thought the muscles would pull so that it could stand on its own. And you can see down here, it's actually just being held up by its own feet, but with some, dumbbells holding it down. Now, if I were to redo this, what I would do is make a pipe straight from the neck all the way down, straight to the tailbone and down, and then make that a plate by itself, so that it could stand freely and you can take the legs off without messing with the stand at all. So I taped it in a way that made it look like a person. I taped the lats like the lats, the way they come from all the way down here, all the way up to your shoulders. And I kept doing that until I got the body shape I wanted, a little bit closer to mine, because I didn't like the way the armor laid on the stand by itself. This is supposed to be for a big, strong person, right? Why do we use skeleton stands? It doesn't wear the same, okay? So I think I'm gonna get into like a little side hobby of building custom cosplay stands to scale for each person, so that the armor or the costume fits the way that person feels like it should look. So I could like measure your chest, your shoulders, your height, your neck. I made the neck specifically because the neck that's default 100% doesn't fit my big fat boy neck. Okay, I got a 16-inch neck in circumference, and this does not fit. I would not be able to wear this. So I can barely squeeze it on here. It'll stay. I can do the same for the neck here, the front. The shoulders have a special print that you can print right here. And the elbow and wrist joints, I'm gonna leave them on the stand because I'm not gonna use that for myself while I'm wearing it. But I will leave it on the stand so when it's in statue mode, I can actually just see how cool it looks, right? Because that's where it's gonna spend most of its life, is in statue mode. But I'll just leave them on the stand. But now I know that I need to scale the neck up. I need to break it up into different pieces. And I have some ideas on that too. Again, magnets. So this was kind of a fun endeavor. I kind of got my juices flowing, my creative juices flowing after, you know, life stuff started clearing itself up. I started feeling really good about my life and getting shit back to normal. So if you like this video, if you found anything in here interesting, like it, don't like it, make a comment. I got thick skin, it's fine. Tell me what you think I could do better, what I've already done better that you've already seen because you've been around for years. If you're building an Ironman costume, I really want to know you. I want to collaborate with you. I got a lot of ideas and I need somebody else to talk to about this. So hit me up on Instagram at printfromSD3D. Perfect timing for a truck, right? Instagram, printfromSD3D. Do I have anything else? I got Facebook, but no one really uses Facebook that's in this audience. But this is my homemade Ironman costume, and I think you would like to see more, so subscribe. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.